Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I just want to go over another draft scenario that's going to more than likely play out or could play out in this upcoming AFL draft. All right, so here I've got my draft simulator I've made. Just want to go through how the draft works and do some explaining because it can get a bit convoluted with the matching bids scenario. I've tried to bake as many details of the current system that we're working into this program. So I just want to go through it with you and explain basically all the permutations of people matching bids, draft picks sliding, draft picks getting burnt, all that, so you've got a better understanding of when this draft rolls around. Okay. If you like the content I'm trying to produce for you guys, if you could like and subscribe, that would be great. I'm also going to be doing some live drafts with subscribers. If you guys just chat into you put your situation, your scenarios you want to see play out into the chat, I'll try and make it happen for you, and we can discuss trading and draft orders where guys are going to slide to if this happens and this happens. Come check it out. I haven't really got a set schedule yet, but just put the bell on. You'll get notified when I'm going to do a live draft. All my live broadcasts will be just for you guys, so you can check out your scenarios. All right. Okay, so starting off with today's scenario, I want to show you. Everyone's thinking Eagles are going to take William Dersma. So up the top here, we've got on the clock West Coast pick 1. They've got pick 1 and 2. This is our current draft order as it stands today. As you can see here, I've got all the teams here, and next to them, I've got points. So the clubs work to a points allocation system. Obviously, the most valuable pick is going to be awarded more points. So we start with 3,000 points all the way down to pick 54, which I believe is the end of the third round. 36, 54, yeah, end of the third round, that gets 14 points, okay? Fourth round is and onwards, you're not awarded any points. Okay, so let's just go ahead and we'll draft William Dersma to the Eagles, okay? He's up here in our results tally. West Coast moved to pick 2. That pick's been burnt, and we carry on, okay? Now, I'm going to show you how a player gets bid on and a club to match it here. So Zeke Euland's often regarded as a pretty popular choice for one of those top 2 or 3 spots. So Eagles are going to put a bid on Zeke Euland here. Okay, so as I was discussing before with the points, we've got that pick 2 that they've actually bid on is worth 2,481 points. Gold Coast need to match that if they want to get him, okay? Now, Gold Coast, I've got the points tallies up here. Gold Coast have got 3,773 points to play with at the start of this draft, okay? That's pretty important because I want you to refer to how they have enough points to match some bids, but I want you also to keep an eye on Brisbane, okay? Brisbane are lacking points up the top here. They've only got 1,700 points, all right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to draft Zeke Euland. Now, in order for Gold Coast to match the bid, they're going to have to burn picks, and by burning picks, they're going to go from the most valuable pick down, okay? So as it stands now, Gold Coast's most valuable pick is pick 15. They will then have to burn pick 18 and pick 24 just to reach that threshold. Their threshold to match the bid is 2,233. It's not the 2,481 that West Coast have been anointed for pick 2. They get a 10% discount, okay, which takes off 248 points. Now, that 10% discount is due to he's part of the Gold Coast Academy. They've spent some time developing him, and he's a tied player to them, okay? So that 10% discount wouldn't apply to anyone else. That's theirs. So what they need to match is 2,233. With those 3 picks, they've got enough. Now, they're actually overpaying, so they're left over with 197 points, okay? So basically, what the AFL does to allow for this, they give the Gold Coast a pick back, which is I'm calling it a compensation pick, and it's basically it just gets jammed in between wherever that points tallies up. So, as I said here, 197 points left over. Let's go down the index. 197 points would fall over here. Okay, so it's not quite enough to match Sydney's, and it's more than Carlton. So Gold Coast are going to get a draft pick jammed in between Sydney and Carlton as soon as I process this pick. And they will also get an additional third draft pick, which is basically a throwaway. It's going to end up down the back of the 6th round, which is where Brisbane are down here. Pick 115 is the end of the 6th. Gold Coast will get tucked in behind that. That's just effectively an extra throwaway pick because they're giving up 3 assets, picks 15, 18, and 24, just for 1 Zeke Ulan, 1 compensation pick, and that extra. Okay, so that's just it's a throwaway. You're giving up 3 pieces. We're going to give you 3 pieces back. All right. So let's just go ahead and process this. So just so you know, and you can keep track of where we're at. Basically, I've explained this on a previous video, but I'll go over it again. So everyone from West Coast down to the Western Bulldogs before this Gold Coast pick is going to move down a spot, okay? Because Gold Coast is jumping the queue. They're jumping the queue up to pick 2. And then basically the one after that is pick 18. So they will move up a spot. They're going to got that one with pick. They'll stay the same, and everyone after that will gradually move up spots. Everyone after pick 24 will move up 2 spots. So North Melbourne's second pick will move up to pick 24, and so on. All these picks below will go up 2 spots as Gold Coast burn more of their picks to match that bid. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for you guys, and we can just see it play out. So we're going to draft Zeke Ulan for Eagles. Down here, Gold Coast have got the option not to match, and he would just go straight to the Eagles. Eagles end up with William Dersma and Zeke Ulan. Not a bad haul. But in this instance, Gold Coast have got the points they're going to choose to match the bid, okay? You see here, we've got a match bid. They've given up their picks, 15, 18, 24, with the points tally. They had that leftover change. That should get jammed between Sydney and Carlton. We go down here. Where are we? We're Sydney and Carlton. We're jammed in between there, okay? And we should have a filler pick at the end of the 6th. There it is there, okay? That will never get used. That's, I don't know, it's probably the 8th pick at that point. They're not taking 8 players in this draft. All right, so now this is where we get to the situation where I want to explain a bit of a rule that not too many people would be aware of, and it doesn't really get enforced too much. Basically, Brizzy, you'll actually notice that Brizzy's points went up here. I want to explain how that happened as well. So they're up to 1820. Now, before Zeke Ulan got picked up, they were in the 1700s. Let's just go back a bit. 1756, okay? That's due to all these tail end picks going up a spot from that burning, okay? That 17th will go to the 16th, 23rd will go to 22, and so on and so forth, all the way through to the end of the 3rd round, okay? So match bid, we're back to where we are. They've gone up, 50 points or something. So that's just those tail enders going up a little bit of a slot. All right. Now, West Coast are going to force Brizzy's hand here. Again, pick 3 is 2,178 points. Okay. So West Coast are going to go, yep, we want Dan Annable. Brizzy doesn't have enough points to match. 2,000, even with their discount, they need to get 1960. They're falling 140 points short. Okay. Now, here I've programmed in, they need to acquire an additional 140 points, which is roughly the equivalent of pick 45, which is near the, about mid-third round pick. Okay. But they can go into deficit for next year. So let's say Brizzy win the premiership next year. They carry out the three-peat. They'll end up with pick 18. They've got 17. They had 18, but let's pretend this one here is Brizzy. Okay, so 836 points minus 140. That's in the 2026 draft. Okay, so they'll get knocked back a bit more to the mid-second, and that's just pretending there's no academy and father-son. Okay, so that's how that works. I can't remember whose pick that was. I think it was Geelong's. Anyway. I'll just reset it just to get my bearings again. Ulan went there. Okay, so who was it? Yeah, it was Geelong. Sweet. Anyway, so Annable is getting recruited by West Coast. They are going to go into a pick deficit. All right, so that never happens. Now, you can't just go into a draft with no points at all. So if we go out of here, you're looking at, there's some teams here with St Kilda, for instance, have only got 86 points to play with. So if St Kilda, let's just pretend St Kilda were Brizzy, and Brizzy only had 86 points, and West Coast bid on Annable at pick 3, they need to make up 2,000 points. That's a massive distance to pick up, and you can't just go into a 2,000 points deficit. So a rule that a lot of people might not know about is there's actually a cap on how many points you can go into deficit, and that number is, let me just refer to my notes, is 1,167 points. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, geez, that's a random ass number. Where'd they come up from that? Okay, so 1,167 points is the cap. We can go into deficit. I want to explain how they got to that number. All right, so what it is the 18th pick of the first round, second round, third round, and fourth round. So we got pick 18 will be 836. You add 836 to pick 36. End of the second round. That's assuming we've got 18 teams. No other nonsense going on. Pick 18, pick 36, pick 54, 14 points, and pick, what are we at? 72, 0 points. So you had 0 points, 14 points, 317 points, and 836 points. That is your cap. You can't go further into deficit, okay? So, yeah. When you're hearing people saying Brizzy have already got enough points, they're basically referring to they are under the cap. They can still match it. They will just have to go into deficit if they can't force a trade. Now, Brizzy obviously have the option to go into a trade. We've baked this into the app as well. Let's go to the trade simulator, okay? And, you know, they can just basically find a way. They've got futures to trade away. None of these are really affected. If they do trade away their first, that will just go to their second. They'll just getting pushed back further because they have to, you know, they've got a loan on points effectively for a year. Okay, so let's say that was pick 18. That would end up 836 minus 140. We're looking at what, 796? No, 696. Is my maths even right? 140. Yeah, 696. So it's only moving back 2 spots, but yeah, still. That's how it would work, okay? So I just wanted to just alert you to that little intricacy of the draft that a lot of people weren't aware of. But yeah, if you enjoy what we're showing here, I'm just trying to get a visual display of what a list manager might be looking at, and all there's different moving parts all the time with this type of thing. So yeah, I just wanted to basically show you, and if you want to jump on, I encourage you to do so. It's just great to hear different people's scenarios. We can save them. We'll go back. This is the viewers draft. If you go through some of my older videos, you'll see the chat. These are the drafts that other people have come up with. You know, you can see Melbourne have traded up for William Dersma. All right, it's just it's a cool way just to explore how a draft could pan out. There's no real science to it, but yeah, these are all the rules that the AFL have locked these clubs in. And yeah, I'm just going to keep trying to make videos and just display this for you guys so you guys have got a better idea when the draft does roll around. Again, if you do like what I'm trying to do here, I'd appreciate any support you can give us. Yeah, that's like, subscribe, and I'll do my best for you guys. Thanks very much. See ya.